The Bible talks about there are varieties of gift, varieties of ministry, and varieties of effect. And this is one of those varieties. Not every prophet is the same. I know one prophet who can only prophesy to people under the age of 13. He's not welcome in a lot of churches. The moment you hit your 13th birthday, you're off his radar. I've been in a room with him with 20-odd kids, like say 24 kids, and he's given prophetic words to 23. And the leader's going, oh, there's one over here. And he says to the kid, how old are you? He says, I'm 13. He said, I'm so sorry, you're not on my radar. I can only prophesy to under 13-year-olds. I've worked with about, 70-odd different kinds of prophets. Some of them very odd, like myself. We can't just shove the prophetic into a box. There are so many different types. There are some people who can only prophesy in the business world. One guy I know can only prophesy to people in homes for the elderly because the Lord wants them to finish well. And he can lay hands on them, and even occasionally people who are starting the slide into dementia, he's given a prophetic word that arrests it. There are loads of different types of prophets out there. And I think the thing is, a lot of the time in the church, we don't respect the variety thing. We want this. And what we're doing is we're putting the prophetic spirit in a box. Anyway, minor rant over. Oh, I'll just start another one. If the only model we have is to do platform prophetic ministry, you're going to cut out at least 40% of all prophetic people who happen to be introverts. And asking an introvert to stand on a platform and look out and give words is absolute torture. Seriously, it's torture. Stick them in a living room, couple of couches, 6 people. They will prophesy over each one for half an hour. Because they need an environment, and this is not it. It's unfair, it's indecent, it's harsh. We expect all our prophetic ministry to be done the same way, especially in public, and it doesn't work for them. I'm an introvert. I love being an introvert. Who's an introvert here? Aren't we the most exciting people ever? Here's the thing about introversion and extroversion. It's like a big room, and there are 2 doors. Introverts come into Christ one way, but they have to go out of that in another way by becoming a little more extrovert. So we're never going to get wholly into extroversion, but at the very least we're going to be ambiverts. I am an ambivert. In private, I'm quiet. I think. I love people. I like being around people. I don't always feel I have to say anything, but I love listening. But I've learned to become a tad more extrovert on a platform. And that was a promise God made to me, that I'll take you there because I want to enjoy you being there. So I did it because I wanted to see what his enjoyment would feel like. Wow. And it feels great. You know, it's like my heart expands, you know. So introverts come into Christ one way, but here's the thing, God is both extrovert and introvert. So somewhere on your journey with him, you're going to cross over. And you're actually going to become more outward thinking, more outward looking, more verbal. Probably you may even get a sense of humor that people understand. Because with introverts, all the best jokes are the ones in our own head. But then if you're an extrovert, you're going to come in to that room, into that space in Jesus, and you're going to learn to be more contemplative, more quiet. You're going to learn to think differently. You're going to learn to express yourself. And you'll probably will seriously reduce the number of times you use the word like. You know, like I was with the Lord this morning, and like we were having a coffee, and like he just said to me, you know, like, Graham, like, have you ever thought about this? Because if you did this, it'd be like that. So that would be a cool thing. And maybe we could just give the word like a rest for 6 months. Because I'm thinking that word is probably going to have senile dementia later on because of massive overuse. Anyway, varieties of gift, varieties of ministry, varieties of effect. Can we just explore the prophetic in different ways? And maybe can we open this box that's rapidly becoming like a coffin? Can we open the box? You know, if God wanted to be in a box, his name would be Jack. Can we open the box? Can we give people freedom? Can we actually start a conversation with prophetic people in our community and saying, what is the way you like to do it best? Now, what's in your heart? And what stage of transition are you going through in your ministry? The way you learn the prophetic is not the way you stay in it all the time. You learn how to enter in, then you have to learn how to stay in, then you have to learn how to go up, then you have to learn how to go further. We're learning all the time. So, I like crafted prophecy because it's more detailed, it's more intentional, and if you're an introvert, you don't have to be in the tyranny of the moment trying to get something in public. You're actually in a great place of safety inside the Lord's heart where you can hear, you can listen. And there are some prophetic people who will never minister verbally. They'll write it down. And you'll be one of those people who will be writing words down on cards and then walking around your neighborhood and just asking the Lord, whose name do you want to put on this? Maybe even knocking on a door somewhere down your street and saying, you know, I was praying about you today and I felt the Lord speak to me. And anyway, this is what he said.